Chief Hghanianfolktales came back to Sharp and Royal 2 weeks later. He said the haircut Daniel gave him changed his luck. He won a big contract and made more money than ever. He brought 2 of his friends with him. They also asked for a haircut. Daniel smiled and gave each man a haircut himself. He took their hair, wrapped it in white cloth, and put it into small boxes. He wrote their names on the boxes. Then he locked the boxes inside a wooden cupboard behind his office. Night, Daniel went into the hidden room under the shop. He placed all 3 hair boxes on the floor. He opened his black book and started a new ritual. He lit a fire, burned herbs, and whispered names. One by one, he placed the hair into a metal bowl and let the fire burn it. The room filled with smoke. Daniel smiled and said, "Their power is mine now." The next week, more rich people started coming. They heard about the shop from Chief Hghanianfolktales. Daniel stayed calm and quiet. He always welcomed them with a smile. Nobody knew he was David. He had changed his name, but his plans were the same. Take hair, do the ritual, and grow his power. Daniel made more money. He bought a bigger house outside the city. He hired workers who never entered his office. He gave them good pay so they never asked questions. But one of them, a barber named Chris, started to notice something strange. He saw Daniel always collecting hair in a silver tray. Daniel never let any hair fall on the floor. Chris thought this was strange, but he said nothing. Something dark had started again. And nobody could see it. Chris was a young man. He was 27 years old and had just moved to Abuja. He was good at his work. He liked working at Sharp and Royal. The shop was clean, quiet, and he earned well. But he noticed Daniel acted differently from other barbers. Daniel always cut the hair of rich people himself. He did not let other barbers touch them. He always used a silver tray to catch the hair. He wrapped the hair and carried it into his office. He never left any strand behind. One day, after Daniel closed the shop and left early, Chris stayed behind to clean. He walked into the main room. As he was sweeping the floor, he noticed the office door was not fully locked. It was a little open. Chris was afraid at first, but his curiosity grew stronger. He pushed the door gently and walked in. The room was quiet and dark. Chris turned on the light. He saw a large wooden cupboard with a padlock. Next to it was a table with a small notebook and an empty silver tray. The notebook had names written in it. Chris flipped through it. Each name had a date and a short note beside it. Good energy. Strong soul. Money blessing. Chris felt cold. He quickly put the book down and stepped out. But just as he reached the door, Daniel appeared. He was standing outside the office with a calm face. He said, "Looking for something?" Chris froze. "No, sir. I thought the light was on, so I checked." Daniel nodded. "Next time, don't enter my office without asking." Chris said sorry and walked away. But he could not stop thinking about what he saw. Mark was still writing stories. He never forgot about blades and luxury. Even though David disappeared, Mark believed he would come back. One day, he got a message on his phone. It was from someone named Chris. The message said, "I think I work for your missing barber. Come see me." Mark took a bus to Abuja the next morning. He met Chris behind a small restaurant near the shop. Chris looked nervous. He told Mark everything he had seen. Mark listened carefully. He asked, "Did you see any white boxes or a black book?" Chris said, "No boxes, but I saw the book. It had names of customers and strange notes." Mark was sure now. David was back, using a new name. He was cutting hair and doing rituals again. Mark wanted to see the shop. Chris said, "Come tonight. I will leave the back door open. You can enter and look around." That night, Mark went to Sharp and Royal. It was dark. He wore black clothes and carried a small camera. Chris opened the back door. Mark entered and walked quietly through the hallway. He found Daniel's office. The door was locked, but Chris gave him a spare key. Inside, Mark saw the silver tray, the notebook, and some ashes in a small dish. He took photos of everything. Then he heard a sound. Someone was coming. Daniel stood at the doorway. He looked calm, but his eyes were sharp. "You again," he said. "You don't learn." Mark didn't speak. He kept his camera on, recording everything. Daniel stepped into the room and closed the door behind him. "What do you want now?" he asked. Mark said. The truth. People should know what you are doing. Daniel laughed softly. And what am I doing, Mark? Cutting hair? Keeping the shop clean? Making people feel good? Mark replied, You collect hair. You use it for rituals. You write names in that book. People disappear. Others lose their minds. Daniel's smile disappeared. You want proof? He said. He walked to the cupboard, opened it, and pulled out a box. This is your proof, he said, showing a white box labeled Senator Bello. Mark took a picture. You can't hide forever. I will post this. Daniel stepped forward. You think you're safe? Mark turned and ran. Chris opened the back door. Mark rushed out and disappeared into the night. He sent the pictures and story the next morning. He titled it, David is Back. New name, same dark ritual. The story went viral again. Police came to the shop. But just like last time, Daniel was gone. The shop was empty. No trays. No book. No boxes. 6 months later, in Port Harcourt, a new barbershop opened. The name was Royal Edge. It had the same design. Gold chairs. Silver trays. Clean white floors. Soft music. People said the owner was quiet and friendly. His name was Mr. Danjuma. He looked like Daniel. He sounded like David. Nobody knew his real name. But he always gave the haircuts himself. He used silver trays. He wrapped the hair in white cloth and placed it into boxes. One day, a young lady came for a haircut. She was a social media star. Mr. Danjuma greeted her with a smile. You are welcome, he said. She laughed and sat down. He cut her hair gently. As each strand fell, he caught it. Later that night, in a room behind the shop, Mr. Danjuma opened a black book. He lit a candle and whispered her name. Let it continue, he said, and far away, in a dark room in Lagos, someone opened a laptop and smiled. David was still watching. He was never going to stop.
The end.
Thank you for watching the video to the end. If you find this video interesting, do well to hit the subscription button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for new stories.